Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with this era's campaign. Last time around we were finally able to break the siege and the stranglehold that the huge Austrian army had on us. Now, there's still quite a lot of Austrians left in the area, but we are clearly getting the upper hand at this point as the Austrians are being pushed back. Now, they still lay siege to Vienna, and they have in the area 3 full stacks, but I imagine after such losses that they have occurred here in this area, I think they're probably ready for peace. They were never the main target here. They sort of ambushed me in the middle of my campaign against the Prussians. But now I would say most of their forces are broken down. You know, I remember counting out all the full stacks here, and I can't remember, we ended up at 20, 25 or so full stacks. Clearly, those full stacks do no longer exist. So I'm thinking here we're going to start this off by actually offering peace to what's left of the Austrian Empire. They have 2 stumps out here next to Russia, and then they have this area right here which they still hold on to, they cling on to. But I imagine they would actually go ahead and accept my peace offer, since, yeah, they did. I wasn't 100% sure they would go ahead and accept it, but they did accept it. And so now I don't have to worry about the Austrians, and we can go directly against the Prussians, which we have an area right here which we could move on the Prussians. But I also have this, which I thought was a more interesting strategy, to bring Napoleon around here and have him march in another long forced march, striking the Prussians' rear. Currently, the Prussians are mustering most of the forces here, and with forward positioning here. Now, I wonder if these forces are readying themselves to march this way towards the capital, or if they are to follow Blucher and go this way towards the capital. But never mind that, because I'm going to strike them in the rear and hopefully upset their plans quite a bit. At the same time, in other parts of the empire, what am I thinking of? Yes, something that I almost forgot myself quite a few times is that I've been sending a force that's supposed to go to Russia, which is just out here. It got stuck last end turn. So we've got a force, a mighty force, enough to take on any Russian navy, carrying, though, a small force of troops. It will be enough to take out any of these because they hold no troops. And we could then raise the spirit of rebellious sentiment in the region. We would create new factions as we move on. We could create, I'm sure we can create Ukraine from Odessa, and from there we could spark a bit of a revolution against the Russian Empire. But that's not the mainstay for this. This is going to be Napoleon's show, as Napoleon intends to strike at Breslau. For now, I think we'll keep the Italian army in Vienna, just in case. I'm sure the Austrians gonna wanna have another crack at us, especially if I move my lines more forward towards the Prussians, so we end up something like this. Then it could be more tempting for them to move through this gap to attack us. In other news, there isn't much going on in other parts, really. The British are still bottled up by our navy, and nothing's really happening over there. And yeah, we've closed down all other fronts, So this is really what we got. And with that, let's go ahead and take Napoleon then. Strike up the drum and march quickly, striking the enemy in the back. Now, I was intercepted by the force, actually the force in front of the town. So we got 1,500 men and one 12-pounder cannon. They are then gonna be quickly then reinforced by a number of artilleries. 3 batteries of 6-pounders, 1 7-pounder howitzer, 2 lancers, number of musketeers, and looks like it's 2 units of grenadiers. The rest are musketeers, numbering 3,500 men. This leaves Napoleon slightly outgunned in the manpower department, but Napoleon's army is... I mean, there's nothing that will beat Napoleon and his army. So, let's have the let's give the Prussians a chance and see what they'll do. But I bet they won't do much. And with that, let's fight this battle. The batteries are just about ready to set up. In the beginning, we had a little bit of an artillery duel against a 12-pounder, which we soundly won. And now we can see the battle lines are being drawn up on both sides here. They have moved quite a bit of their artillery over to this side. But it is just a horse-drawn artillery. I am more interested to see where they're gonna put... Was that one also horse-drawn? The howitzer. There's the howitzer. The howitzers have caused quite a lot of problem for me. They're extending the lines quite a bit. We're gonna have to extend the lines here. You can see if I can traverse the Jippiloo Lancers through the village and then set up on the flank there. We'll move Napoleon slightly. Do think we have a shot on the howitzer. So let's go ahead and break down some of those artillery pieces to start off with. Looking at the position though, they don't have that much cavalry. They have 1 lancer on that side. They're supposed to have another lancer as well, which is on this side. So they've got a lancer on each side. We just totally destroy that one in the first bloody go by the old guard battery. Completely annihilating that battery. The other 2 batteries moving forward. Silly bastards. Target. See if Tunai is able to get rid of that one over there. The enemy is advancing now at rapid speed towards us. Right. The brigade on this side is opening fire. A little bit too early though. Not really being able to shoot anyone on that side. I will keep the Mamluks. Or the idea was to keep them as guard for Napoleon. But clearly the enemy has put in their own artillery out there. So I'm gonna aim for that instead. Let's see. Tunai did the same and destroy the battery on that side. Very good. I aim for this. As they're moving forward here, this brigade will be brought up like this, with the lancers now heading towards the woods, and will swing in while the lights hold. I've got the 2 heavy cavalry units back here ready to join in. Right. Mamluks attack. We'll bring this brigade up through this hill and then bring it down upon the enemy. Meanwhile, the center part will start to advance. The enemy is moving a lot of troops over here, which could be the focal point then for the artillery. Right. Mamluks continue on. Their lance has been running all over the place and are now tired. Once... Oh, my Mamluks are also tired. I was going to say, my Mamluks are going to have an easy time fighting them, since the enemy is so tired. Izzy will have to stop right here and open fire. And then we've got the 84E, the 93rd, both lining up here with the flankers. Going on the flank. Sitting up here, but then gonna move up to the crest of the hill. Mamluks took out the enemy, will advance. A little bit worried here about the Lancer squadron, but it seems like it's not really sure where it wants to go. My artillery shots are completely annihilating the flanks here of the two units. Let's have this flanking brigade moved quickly into position, and the Lancers so. Draghi Shen will be moved as they are now about to move kind of to this around the light troops, which will retire slightly. Alright, Mamluks deal with the Lancers, while the flankers are ordered to the top of the hill, and so is the 93rd up onto that ridge, and we will get the 85th regiment up onto that side as well. Right, just the fire of musket and artillery, we broke those enemies. Militia battalion, that's maybe not where we want to aim for. Aim for this one, because that one's returning fire on us. The Mamluks are clearly winning over the Uhlans. Once you get past the points, it's like killing rabbits. One grenadier remains, but for how long? Advance and assault the brigade right here. The heavy cavalry is now fanning out, ready to attack. The enemy is going to spread out all over the place. Like, the Mamluks are ready to advance. They'll advance on the enemy. And so will Jipaloo and his lances. Let's halt the grenadiers here. And then fire up the rear of the enemy grenadiers and break them. Wonderful. Continue the advance. Continue the advance. The light troops will advance. Izzy will hold, but Saruto and Mataya will advance towards the center. Actually, the enemy is now coming up on the center, so you might hold where you are. Right, the battery will be ordered to fire upon the troops that are now cresting this hill. As soon as this unit gets in position, it's got a perfect flank down upon that enemy unit. Move forward at brisk pace and prepare to absolutely annihilate the grenadier unit. The Prussian force is in disarray. Numerous troops are breaking and getting destroyed all across the battlefield. The Mamluks are very tired, but they don't need to be all that energetic to ride down the retreating troops. The Grenadiers have realized they're coming under attack from the flank and are trying desperately to avoid getting hit any further. I'm gonna order in the Mamluks, and the Lancers now gonna go ordered in as well on one of the few strong units, the few units that remain at high strength. Right, the enemy was broken over here as well. This entire brigade will now take this high ground. You will still hold. You will still hold. But I'm going to need to wheel these two up. Now there's a risk of me firing on my own, so I will fire far with the artillery. Chase them straight into the musket fire of our troops. As the Mamluks and Jipilu's lancers crash into the back of the enemy troops. Alright, with that, I will order the advance. And I will order the total advance of our forces. Jipilu's lancers chasing these troops. Same with the Mamluks chasing these troops here. They're broken. Let's switch targets to order the cavalry forward. Let's bring the heavy cavalry with us as well, shall we? Let's not leave them behind. Napoleon pleased from his vantage point on the hill. More Prussian troops are coming in though, but the main sort of battle is now concluded. And I very much doubt that the Prussians will be able to regroup and form any kind of meaningful resistance. These troops that are coming in here though is going to be important to destroy in their entirety, since these troops are the ones that are going to defend the town in the secondary battle. The new line has been established, and it looks like there's not going to be any more enemy troops. The Grenadiers waiting behind the hill, ready to advance up on over the top to release a devastating volley onto the oncoming Prussians. Prussians preparing. Let's see. Are we able to fire first? The enemy might have fired first, but the old guard's volley was absolutely devastating. The Prussian regiment was devastated. I think I only lost like 3 guards actually. I think they were around 231 or something like that. The enemy was completely devastated by now. That's the kind of attack you want to happen, where your unit is able to come up quickly at that close range and then just deliver that volley that destroys the enemy. Given though that this is the very end of it, I'd say that I will declare this a victory. And let's see if we can't instead maybe focus on what comes after. Since there's only 4 units left now on the field of battle. wonderful victory of Napoleon. One mistake though, which happened off camera. I missed the fact that there was one Prussian unit that's turned around in the woods as I was charging it down with the last of my cavalry. Draghi Shen's cavalry rode straight on to them, uphill, in woods, against a prepare unit. Not a lot of men survived, but the unit did in fact survive, so there's 9 troopers left. So the unit barely survived the battle. But overall, it was a victory where we lost around 500, and they have about 500 left. Comparing that we started off with 3,500, and they started off with 5,000. When it comes to the highest kills, we actually have the Mamluks, followed by Jipilu's Lancers, followed by Guards, followed by the other Cuirassier unit, and then we have Guards, Chilier Chasseur, and so on as we go all the way down through the list here. And then in the bottom we have got Napoleon, which apparently managed to secure 6 kills somehow. Not entirely sure how that happened. But yes, we are victorious. And we're able to strike on to the town. Now, after resolving this, when there's only 9 men left, is asking for trouble. So I'm gonna demand surrender instead. They accept, and I just occupied this territory. Wonderful. And we get plenty of reinforcements. Wonderful, capturing this area. However, Napoleon is completely on his own in this area. You have lost so many... What did you lose? Heavy cavalry, it looks like. And also you're hit pretty hard. However, Audrineau is more or less fully ready. So why doesn't Audrineau march and make sure that we control this bridge? Which means that the Prussians have to attack Audrineau here or go around. And there's another bridge over here. But Grouchy needs to replenish. We do have Messina. Messina will move up and take control of this bridge. Make sure that the Prussians can't get through there. Soule will take control of this bridge. Oh yes, here's the German army. Reconnecting with a bit more German troops. Some Westphalian troops. We'll move Mortimer up to the crossroads. So then we have Mortimer, Davout, and Ney situated, ready to attack Setting Pomerania and Blucher. And then Jean Rapp trying to reorganize the German troops, Grouchy, and Suchet gathering troops, and then the Polish army as well. Ah yes, with Breslau and Silesia taken, the road to Warsaw is open. The Polish army is begging for an opportunity to recapture their homeland. And that might very well be what we'll look at next, as this will now be the end of the episode. So just a recap here, what we've been able to do is we've been able to cancel out the Austrians once more out of the war, and we have moved now the entire front line up to this and then going all the way down here along this river. This river, which will be crossed in the next episode, either towards the north or towards the south. Well, I'd probably do both. Question is, what happens first? Will the Polish cross first? Or will Ney lead his forces through Pomerania? As it stands right now, I only need a single region to achieve my victory, which I'm trying to hold on to, because the thing I said, I think in the previous campaign, that I wanted to do the campaigns shorter and more of them. We are now looking at the end of May. It's taken me half a year to complete this. 6 months has this campaign gone on. So, clearly, that was not the case. But it could be that the next one has lesser goals. Whatever we may choose for the next one. But in terms of what I want to do is... I guess I'm open to suggestions. There was some... I'm thinking here what we might do is once it's completed, that I will open it up so that I can... Or I would change it. So we open up, so we get the 40 unit battles. Test that out. I'm a little bit hesitant to see how that goes. The end screens, or those cinematics, will be screwed because when there's too many of the new skins on screen at the same time, it gets screwed over. But I think I can try and work around that somehow. But it won't be the same. It won't be exactly the same. But I will see about that, and see about having a battle with 40 units. But other than that, I'm not gonna continue. I mean, if at this point, if I set the goal to like conquer everything, or like march to Moscow or something like that, will never be done. Will never be done. I'll be done by Christmas or something like that. And I think we're ready for something new, more so than marching around with Napoleon. But yeah, definitely enjoyed the mod, and had I been able to install it correctly from the start, it'd probably been even better. But here we are. And so then, I will say, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.